Hello, so welcome to today's Polity with Davina. We're going to be talking about Laura Loomer and Donald Trump very briefly. We'll look at the photos. Some people are using body language, including me, to assess whether or not this right-wing extremist, hair, my own hair, right-wing extremist person is in fact Trump's new side piece, as it were, side chick. It's kind of a derogatory name for women, so I don't love that. But let's look at that body language. She does seem to have her breast pressed into his abdominal region. It's very close physical proximity. And then the other piece of evidence that people are looking at is the video 6 seconds.
She's actually that's my that says Trump 2024. She's actually
It's his arm around her waist quite a long time, so it's longer than you might put it for a still photograph. They have a little kiss as well. We're going to look at it again because we're analysing closely. And we're going to speculate on whether or not this would have any political impact on evangelical supporters of Donald Trump, or if they would in fact enjoy it, saying he's a sinner like all of us. That makes Jesus more likely to endorse him. Who knows how the evangelicals think? Sometimes you can get hold of one of them on Twitter and find out from themselves. So here Pastor Ben asks, how do you think evangelicals and MAGA Christians will justify Laura Loomer's new role in Trump's campaign? I mean, Laura Loomer recently has been making pronouncements that are too racist even for Marjorie Taylor Greene, the renowned racist conspiracy theorist congresswoman representing a district in Georgia. So somebody says, both showing big-time disrespect to Melania, but that's who they are. Yes. Reminds me of, yes, Monica Lewinsky. He's acknowledging her beauty. Good for him. Well, that's likely to be a Trump supporter. So they're going to take that as a win, the type of Trump supporters that are like, yes, Trump is our champion. He takes what he wants. He grabs what he wants. Beautiful women. He has that power. And that leads me into having a quick conversation about fascism and how one of the ways fascism works. It's a type of political strategy that involves emotionally manipulating people by empowering them to give them the moral clarity to hate on certain demographics, by vilifying them repetitively in order to let people lean into that human tendency to fear being harmed by people outside of whatever group you consider yourself to be part of. So othering, weaponizing othering. And Hitler did it with Jewish people, and they also imprisoned homosexual people, so they also had that whole integrity of the family, emphasis on breeding more people for the fatherland, etc. Yes, Sheldon, say hi, Sheldon. Shout out to Sheldon, and I'm like, say hi to your brother, or not, if you don't want to, from me. But I try to build the coalition of Kamala supporters, because we need everybody, and I am just glad to see you, Sheldon. Loomer isn't in the coalition. She's Jewish, but she's I hadn't heard of her being anti-Semitic, but I'm prepared to believe it, because she's just honed her skill set at being vitriolic about a lot of different religions. So she's very vitriolic against people of the Islamic faith, and takes data points that concern and sadden and upset Americans and other people around the world who've been hurt by certain terrorist acts. And I'm thinking specifically, because we're close chronologically to 9/11, so definitely a lot of people wanted to reject and condemn Islamic fundamentalism and Islamic extremism. Laura Loomer is somebody who, for her own advancement, has made that her skill set of trash talking, vilifying, denigrating people of the Muslim faith. Well, I don't think my connection's working very well today. That does not looks like the screen is frozen. I wonder if people can hear me. Let's have a look. Maybe if I get rid of that one. I've got two Twitters open, and Twitter probably takes a bunch of streaming energy. Okay, there we go. I'm back. So that was Laura Loomer. I could see some of the contents trying to defend Trump and say jealousy and lies are evil. You should know better, Pastor. We need to. Oh well, Trump and his compatriots and his defenders say at face value, and that's because I don't believe in their sincerity. I believe in the sincerity of their strategy as a power grab. I believe that they sincerely want more power and influence for themselves. I believe that they genuinely fear discomfort and that they have discomfort at the idea of becoming and that they fear the loss of privileges they assume they deserve and have and want to continue in perpetuity, and that they also attribute sometimes to themselves because of the amount of melanin in their skin or not in their skin, as the case may be. And I once interviewed a psychiatrist on this show, and he introduced me to a term called shared omnipotence. Omni meaning all, potency meaning power. So shared omnipotence is that feeling of empowerment that people belonging to a group can get when the champion of that group does things that are typically taboo. And gets away with it. So Trump has been able to break a lot of laws and achieve things that also this group would value as well, or at least maintain the appearance of achieving things. So for those of us who've followed epiphanies about Trump, that have details that have been disclosed through journalists acquiring his tax records and other records, they've found that Trump inherited approximately $413 million from his father, and that if he'd put that in an indexed fund, it would be worth more now than Trump currently has. He's perpetually in debt. He's had 6 bankruptcies, and I've been through and established now it's not 5, it's 6 bankruptcies, as well as settling a $25 million court case, paying $25 million to dissatisfied students of his so-called Trump University, which was essentially a pyramid scheme for investing in real estate properties that he was trying to acquire, and just yet another way to defraud mom and pop style investors, his fan investors, people who wanted to be more like Trump and were prepared to spend some of their hard-earned money in paying for products and services that had his name attached, believing that he wouldn't rip them off, that he would only attach his name to something of value. My sound is fine, or my screen is fine. My O is fine. Yes, so where are we up to? We've still got Trump on the screen, so let's see if I can get him off. But I was interested in reading the comments because I do like to find out how they, people just saying Trump won the debate. Okay, so they definitely like to have bots and Trump supporters, who I'm sure some of them are real people, because he did still have, 73 million people vote for Trump in the 2020 election. It just wasn't enough to defeat the 81 million people who understood the assignment was to keep a fascist out of office for a second term, because it wouldn't be a second term constrained by 4 years or the Constitution. It would be an unconstrained dictator ruling for as long as he could get away with it, which potentially in perpetuity, with a dynasty of Trump children inheriting a throne of the United States. And that alarmed a lot of people. So I think there are still a lot of decent Republicans. And when I say a lot, I should clarify that to say, even if it's 3% of Republican voters, that could still make a significant difference. So I still call it a lot. A lot meaning not 2 or 3, potentially thousands in every state in the United States, which becomes more critical in the context of the Electoral College system, where you have to win majorities in a number of critical battleground states in order to secure victory in the presidential election. You can't just rely on the wisdom of crowds awarding you victory in a popular vote sense. The crowds aren't always wise, particularly not when crowds have been exposed to or have been susceptible to the grift of a malicious con artist grifter who kept a book of Hitler's collected speeches, My New Order, on his bedside table, according to the divorce deposition documents of statements of his first wife, Ivana Trump, because that's what she told her divorce lawyers, and they recorded that information. And a journalist asked Trump, do you have Mein Kampf, or do you have Hitler's collected speeches? And Trump said, who told you that? And then said that his friend Marty Davis from Paramount gave him that book. Marty Davis did say, yes, I gave him Hitler's collected speeches, but I'm not Jewish. And I thought he would like it. Trump did like it. Trump, according to his ex-wife, first ex-wife, he might have some more soon, given that depends how much Melania can cope with additional public humiliation. She's already coped with quite a lot, so she might be satisfied with whatever terms of whatever contractual relationship they have. And some people might think I just meant the marriage contract. Other people might think there's some type of prenup or ongoing during marriage contract that rewards her for making public appearances periodically with Trump and making statements to the effect that she supports him and is married to him and that they have a valid marriage. I've seen video clips of Melania pushing Trump's hand away as he sought to hold her hand. So that always makes me think, well, that's outside the terms of her contract. She's not obligated to hold his hand, and she finds his hand repellent in the way that some separated people or even married people find the touch of their partner repellent because they've endured so much, or they're so just repelled by the character and personality and appearance of their partner. It's just, yes. All right, what else can we cover today? I've got to get out of here soon, but I will say that yes, rumors, I agree with this post, rumors that Donald Trump and Laura Loomer are having an affair seem very likely to be true. Laura Loomer is a Trump-loving lunatic who recently made an extremely offensive comment regarding Vice President Kamala Harris, whilst Trump is known to have cheated many times on all his wives. Yes, we know that not only did he, through Michael Cohen, pay $130,000 to Stormy Daniels to buy her compliance with a non-disclosure agreement regarding their sexual encounter. There was also Playboy Karen McDougal, former kindergarten teacher, then Playboy model person, Playboy person, Karen McDougal, attractive lady who wanted in exchange for her silence, wanted a deal to write a column for the AMI publications, then headed by David Pecker. Interesting name. All right, so we can look at the eye contact of this. I think this video of Laura Loomer is a little older. I remember seeing that from before. But let's see if we can.
Theo, thank you so much for inviting me to sit with you today. Pleasure. You're the best. I love you. Theo, thank you so much for inviting me to sit with you today. Pleasure. You're the best. I love you.
All right, so as an amateur, so I put on my amateur psychologist hat and say, she's saying, thank you so much for inviting me to sit with you today. He says, it's a pleasure. And she says, I love you. The woman is signaling love. And for some people, love is accompanied by a willingness to engage in sexual activities. I would say that's a data point to suggest she's definitely open to having an affair with him. And their more recent body language supports the idea that they are engaging in an affair. What's the significance of it? I have also seen a toast with Laura Loomer and Nick Fuentes, who you may remember as being a Holocaust-denying neo-Nazi who's extremely degrading about women and Jews and homosexuals, LGBTQ people, LGBTQ plus people, and liberal democracy. And they were drinking champagne and toasting to a hostile takeover of the Republican Party. Now, that video is a little dated because I think Nick Fuentes is angry with Trump at present. The last post I saw from people sharing what Nick Fuentes is up to, it's not as if I go to his channel myself, but the brave people that do follow the right wing very closely shared his post that he was angry with Trump for admitting that he lost the 2020 election and saying, well, then what did, that would have been nice to know before. Why didn't you tell us? All right, well, that's...
And it's not even nice. I saw
Former
pictures
President
of-
Donald Trump continues this week there in Rancho Palos Verdes, California, John. He started about 1:26. He's been going for about 34
All right, so this is just Kamala
minutes so far.
headquarters saying that they're
35 minutes and
cutting
so
away from
counting,
Trump's
and
incoherent
really
press
laying out a
conference,
message to voters.
where he cited a Project 2025 author, denied the election results, and defended self-avowed white nationalist and the 9/11 conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer. So, look, folks, that's all from me for today. Laura Loomer, I'd forgotten, yes, 9/11 conspiracy theorist. That's an important fact too, because 9/11 conspiracy theories saying it was an inside job and that America wasn't actually attacked, that's a bridge too far for a lot of people. And hopefully that helps undermine the support for Trump of people who are prepared to at least hold their nose and overlook his blatant COVID mismanagement, racism, convictions for fraud, convictions of sexual, well, not convictions, being found liable for sexual abuse in a civil court, etc. If they were prepared to overlook all that and hold their nose and vote for Trump, hopefully being so closely involved with a 9/11 truther will be a straw that breaks the camel's back for some of those voters, because Republican voters staying at home is also a very important outcome to reduce Trump's margin particularly in battleground states. We need him to have fewer voters and Kamala Harris to have more. So converting some Republican voters to vote for Kamala Harris is great. Discouraging Republican voters who might hold their nose and vote for Trump from even voting at all, that's also still a win. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Check your voter registration and take care of yourselves and your families. Bye.